YouTube? It's your boy Lil Finesse, the Jiggy Hippie, and in this video I'm going to be discussing the 3 most important placements to your birth chart, your natal chart. They're all the same thing. So to your birth chart. Now, if you don't know what a birth chart or a natal chart is, yeah, I'm gonna need you to watch this video one time, because this is basically this whole channel, my whole movement, basically going to be for the people that are on their path to self-knowledge, to self-love, that are trying to really understand like the deeper meanings of life. Like, they're not just going with the flow 9 to 5 and just, So yeah, basically, before I even start about that, we have to come to an understanding of who we are and where we come from. So we are all made from this universe. Our fleshly body, our body, is made from this earth. Our spirit, our energy, whatever you want to call it, that is inside of our body, that runs us, that tells us how to live our life day to day. Our traits, our personality, all that put together comes from the cosmos, or the stars, or the universe. And what astrology is basically studying the stars and the cosmos to understand why you do what you do, why you like what you like, why you react to things the way you react to it. It basically studies the meaning behind everything. There's nothing in this world called a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Life is like a big spider web. Everything's connected to each other. So we all have something called a natal chart. So it's like a birth certificate, but from the universe. So we have a birth certificate on this planet, and that tells you your birthday, your doctor's name, and your parents sign it. The birth chart is like a birth certificate from the universe. So when you were born, as soon as you were born, that time that you wrote down, that it's like a snapshot picture of the stars that were in the position on the time that you were born. So exactly when you were born, the stars are in a certain position, and that determines a lot about your personality. You could figure this out by looking up your birth chart or your natal chart. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down for people that have never even heard about it, that don't know nothing about astrology. Some people are spooked by it. They think it's scary. They think it's spooky. They think it's because they've been brainwashed to believe that learning about things like this is like trying to tell the future and all that. But I'm just here to break it down the best way I can, so anybody and everybody can understand that astrology really is like a blueprint to your life. It tells you why you do what you do, basically. We all have a subconscious mind. We all do things without thinking. We just like we naturally have inclinations to do things. So like, for example, if you're an Aries, astrology tells you why you're so hard-headed, why you got so much energy, why you're always like trying to be in first place, why you're always so competitive, why you're always quick to get angry, but then at the same time you get over it quick. Like, why you're just so like, why quick is like a word to describe you in any like very, very aggressive. If you're a Taurus, astrology gives the reason, like, first of all, why you're so stubborn, because Tauruses are stubborn as hell, but it explains why though. It's not just Tauruses are stubborn and that's it. It gives you, because we're all connected through nature, and I'm gonna drop videos on each sign, explaining each sign basically. So I'm not trying to go into depth with the signs in this video. But if you're Taurus, it tells you why you're stubborn, why you like nice things, as in things that smell good, taste good, that sound good, why you like expensive things with quality. It tells you why you like food a lot as well. If you're a Gemini, it tells you why you talk a lot. It tells you why you always gotta be chatting. Like, it explains why your mind is always working. Like, even if you're laying down to go to sleep, it's hard for most Geminis to go to sleep because their mind is always moving. There's always something going on in the mind. Astrology explains that. If you're a Cancer, It explains why you're so in touch with your emotion. I'm not going to say emotional, because we're all emotional. We just have different ways of expressing it and letting it out. But Cancer people are very in touch with their emotions. They really react to things emotionally, because, like I said, I'm not going to go deep into this right now, but basically because they're like, they're a water sign, they're the moon and all that. If you're a Virgo, I'm missing one, Leo. If you're a Leo, it tells you why you're so, I'm not going to say, because this is so cliche that Leos love attention, Leos don't want to be in the center of attention, but it tells you why you crave, or why you have the need to expect a lot of attention from people that you love, especially like your loved ones, especially friends, family, relationships. Why you crave, why you need attention, from a lot of people. It tells you why that is. It tells you why you always light up a room wherever you go. It explains why that is. If you are I got Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Leo. If you're a Virgo, it explains to you why you're so nitpicky, why everything has to be perfect in every situation that you're in, why you have that eye for detail. It explains why you always want to make sure things are proportionate, things are into play the way it is in your mind. And it also tells you why you're always the first person to be like, hey, yo, that's not right, this should be like this, things could be different this way. Why you're always that person to point out the imperfections of things. If you're a Libra, it explains why do you like to make things, I'm not gonna say the word balance because it's so cliche. I like to say different things than what people read all the time, because I can easily just come over here and talk about textbook astrology and just tell you definitions of what I read and all that. But I like to use my own personal observations. So Libras, it tells you why you are, first of all, why it's hard for you to be by yourself, because Libras always need to be with another mind. Their mind cannot work well by themselves. They always have to have another mind to stimulate them, whether it's relationships, a friend, somebody to talk to. It explains why you always have to have two people, or always have to be in a group of friends, why you're so friendly. It explains why you are into aesthetics a lot, like the way you look personally, like your hair and all that. If you are a Scorpio, it explains why you might have some dark thoughts. Like say Scorpio is like the farthest planet from the sun. So I said Scorpio is the farthest planet from the sun. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is the farthest planet from the sun. So if it's the farthest planet from the sun, that means that it does not get as much light as the other planets before it. So it is the darkest planet. So Scorpio people might have really dark thoughts. They are very intense. They're also really good at merging with people. They're very good at making themselves vulnerable to merge with somebody that they love, obviously. Not just with anybody. That has to be somebody they love. If you are a Sagittarius, it explains why, first of all, you just have the inkling to always be traveling, to seeing new things. Sagittariuses never want to be stagnant, doing the same thing. They always have the need to explore and to learn from traveling, from seeing new things, basically. Always trying to learn new things through experiences by getting up and going somewhere. If you are a Capricorn, it explains why, first of all, you love to work. You love to be in the public eye, represented as a working person, like a worker, like a hard worker, or somebody with status that has money. It explains why you work so hard, why you like to have money. If you are a Aquarius, it explains first of all why you're so weird. And before I go on, Aquarius is hands down my favorite sign of the zodiac, because I know a lot about Aquarius, because I have a lot of Aquarius energy inside of my my birth chart, and I'm gonna make a video on my my chart in the future. But Aquarius explains why you're so weird, as in weird is basically not being like everybody else, not going with the grain, always going against it, not trying to copy people, but always trying to be different, trying to be your own different originality, original self kind of thing. And if you're Pisces, astrology explains to you why you are so deeply in tune with your environment. Intuition and being in tune is like the Pisces. They feel everything, so they can really understand through the vibrations of things what's going on. They could tell something's gonna happen before it happens better than any other sign, basically. So I just gave little small examples to show y'all that like astrology really breaks down the reason why you do things. So something that you have to understand is that we are all not just one sign. We are all not just one sign. And I'm gonna say that one more time just for the people in the back. We are all not just one sign. We have a birth chart filled with different signs that make up our personality, that make up our inner self, our spirit, our energy. So I'm going to talk about the first three most important signs that we have, basically. And that's the sun sign, which is the sun planet, because we're made from this universe. So the cosmos and the stars, the solar system, the sun is inside of us. So we have the sun sign, then we have the moon sign, and a rising sign or an ascendant. And the rising is basically, depending on what sign that it's in, it's the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon when you were born. So when you were born, whatever sign that was like rising or ascending from the eastern horizon from when you're born determines your rising sign. So I'm about to explain what these three mean. This is for people that have never heard about this, that don't know anything about a birth chart, that are just like getting into astrology or just have never even looked into it. But this is just to break it down in the simplest terms. So let's take a house, for example. And first of all, the sun sign, the sun is like your core energy. The sun is in the middle of the solar system, and it gives out energy to the planets around it. It's in the center, and it's the core energy for the planets around it. So the sun is your core energy. The sun is what you probably know, because it's based on the month and the day you were born. So if you're born on March 12th, I'm a sun sign Pisces. If you're born like December 3rd, you're a sun sign Sagittarius. So that's the sun sign. Your moon sign is emotions. Think about, they say like when women have their periods and the moon changes, they can really feel the changes, or women are connected to the moon when it comes to like the mood swings and like the energy that the moon gives off. Women can feel it more. So moon is emotions. And your rising sign is what you look like, how you present yourself. So I could explain it to y'all like this. Picture a house that you've never been in before. You're first driving up to a house, and you look at the house, and the first thing you see is the door, the color of the door, the grass, the flowers, the presentation of the house on the outside. That's the rising sign. The presentation of yourself on the outside, without nobody talking to you, without you saying anything. It's the first thing that people see when they look at you. The first thing you see when you look at the house, the door, the windows, the flowers, the grass, rising sign. So now you go inside the house for the first time, and you go in the living room. And the living room usually gives you like, you can feel like the overall feel for the whole house is like the living room. That's where most guests usually go. And the living room is like the core energy of the house, the core representation of the house when you walk inside. And that living room represents your sun sign, your core It's who you are, like what your core, your strongest energy is, and that's the sun sign. So when you first meet somebody and you look at them, they might look completely different than how they act when you start talking to them. And the reason that is, like, the house, when you look outside, might be looking clean. The grass is green, it's cut perfectly. The windows are polished, the flowers are blooming. But then when you walk inside the house and you look around, first thing you see is shoes everywhere. It smells bad. It's not vacuumed. Dishes are in the sink. So it's just like basically when you first look at somebody without talking to them, you have like a perception in their head. You're looking at their rising sign. And you start talking to them and getting a general feel of their energy, and that's their sun sign coming out. Now, so some people are very particular about who goes into their bedroom. So the bedroom, the room upstairs, the bedroom, your personal room, is represented by your moon sign. And only people that are friends with you, that have known you for a while, know who you are through your moon sign, because that's how you react to emotional things. You're not going to really be reacting to emotional things to a stranger. You're going to react to emotional things with your loved ones, the person you're dating, your family members, your friends. So rising sign is the first thing you see when you look at the house. Boom, this house looks nice. It presents itself in a very nice or ugly way. Your presentation is your rising ascendant sign. Presentation is your rising or ascendant sign. Without you saying nothing, just walking in a room, boom, your rising sign is what people look at and what people see and what people feel. So they start talking to you, then you get a general feel of you. That's your sun sign. Your inner energy, your inner strongest energy, like your core energy, is your sun sign. And then when you get in relationships or you start to feel feelings for somebody and all that, like that's when your moon sign comes out. Your emotional needs come out. So we all have a birth chart. I'm gonna say this again. We all have a birth chart, and you can look up your birth chart by just going on Google and typing in "find my natal chart." I suggest that you look on your birth certificate to get the time, so that you can have the most accurate snapshot picture of what your birth chart looks like when you got the time, because the planet we're constantly moving. We all know this. The planets around us are moving. We are constantly moving. As time goes by, hours, the signs change as like hours go by. So it's good to know the exact time, so you know exactly where the planets were when you were born. So in this channel, I'm going to be discussing, like, I'm about to be breaking down astrology for those who don't know it whatsoever, because this knowledge is so important to understand, to know yourself. You cannot truly love yourself if you don't know who you are energetically. That if you don't know who you are, what energies you're working with, it's like every sign has like its own superpower. So knowing who you are deeply by looking at your chart and knowing exactly what signs are inside of you at the planets that they are in helps you to maneuver through life. And I like to say it helps you to finesse through life. Like you could just like, all right, boom, I'm an Aquarius, so I'm really good at connecting with people. So when I go to work, I'm about to connect with as many people as I can to promote what I got to promote. Or boom, I'm a Leo, so I know I get a lot of attention. So there's this girl I like, and it's going to be easy for me to impress her because I'm a Leo, and as soon as I walk in, I'm going to get all the attention. Boom, boom. Or I'm a Capricorn, and I really need some money, but I know I'm a hard worker, so this should be very easy for me. And it's like, it just tells you exactly like why you're good at something and why you're not. But the whole zodiac is a wheel, it's a circle. So we need each other to keep life going around. There's no one bad sign, one good sign, one better sign. We're all equal on the wheel, because an Aries is really good at starting things, but they suck at finishing it. And they can learn from, let's say, Tauruses or Virgos or Capricorn to finish things. And Capricorn, Virgos, and Tauruses can learn how to start things a little more quicker, or to be more assertive, or we all teach each other things that we need to know. So it's important to know, first of all, what planets are in your chart, and it's important to know what planets or what signs people around you are, because you can realize whether it's a good influence or a bad influence, or you know what you need to learn from the other person, or you can just observe them and help them based on what energies that they have when they're working with. So I'm going to keep coming at y'all with these videos. This is just like a beginner video for the ones that just started. But I'm gonna be making videos. I'm about to make a series breaking down each sign in most detail as I can. So thanks for watching my first video. Make sure y'all subscribe so y'all can peep and really be in tune with yourself and the energies that are around you. I'm gonna catch y'all when I catch y'all. Be safe out here. Peace.